So here's my water pump on the engine itself. This is my first time replacing one of these on an L28, so looks like I'm missing a bolt here and here. I don't know if that's like intentional or what, or if they broke off, previous owner. Not really too sure. When I had this running, it wasn't overheating, which was a good sign, but there's a little bit of play in the bearing there, and there's quite a bit of seepage here. It's pretty heavily stained, and plus with the car apart like this, the water pump is so cheap, I figured why not replace it, especially because I'm about to put the new radiator in it, so it's accessible, why not? So I got a 10mm here, 12mm here. Gonna take that off. Just for reference, I got a little piece of scrap cardboard, traced out the gasket. I'm gonna put the bolts back there, just for easy reference. So I got the bolts undone, and I started to pry it a little bit. Even though I have most of the engine drained of coolant, looks like there was some residual one in there, so I grabbed the bucket. It's really not too much, but you gotta do what you can to try to collect the fluids. So here we go. A little difficult in one hand, and as I say that, it pours out. Nice. Let's check this out. So maybe that's a stud? I'm not too sure. Either that's a stud or he broke off 2 consecutive bolts. Can't quite tell, there's like goop on it. Oh well. Let's get this gasket off. This one's pretty on there. Oh, wow, never mind. Gonna get a scraper and clean this up a little bit more. I'm actually really pleased at the inside of this timing cover here. I was expecting like a bunch of corrosion or something like that, but it looks hella clean. So I'm scraping off this here a little bit, getting that ready for gasket. And it's starting to rain a little bit. Not too bad. If it's a drizzle, I'll just put some cardboard above the engine here and keep recording. But if it starts downpouring, I do not want to risk the camera getting wet. But we're definitely getting this done today. Now we don't want to gouge the metal because that would make a shitty seal. So we're just scraping the gasket and any grime. Rain's definitely picking up a little bit. Some thunder in the background, but it's alright. And once this is cleaned, it actually looks like that is a stud. Cool. I was worried I had broken bolts. It's very relieving. Speaking of bolts, mine are definitely pretty dirty, as to be expected. I'm definitely going to take a wire brush to those, clean those up a little bit. Probably get like a metal pick and try to dig out some gasket maker. I want this thing to seat and seal as best as I can. Cause I'm not really gonna have this easy access once the car's all together. I mean, you can still do it, but now's the time to do it. Here's the old cardboard setup. I got the wire brush for the bolts. Just got a random pick. see if I can pull anything out. It's pretty clean, but I did see some, like right there. Let's get that out. And I see lightning at the corner of my eye. There's a chunk. Come on. Wow. Alright, now I'm going to clean those bolts up, see how that goes. I did notice, like, some of them had thread sealer on them. I may clean them up and throw some on myself. Better safe than sorry, I guess. The wind with the rain pretty much pushed the rain under the awning here, so I had to pull my lights back. No worries though, we're still getting progress done. Taking care of these bolts with the old wire brush. No biggie. Looks like we gotta wait a little bit on this one. Back to the book. So the rain stopped enough for me to start working again, so I'm going to go over what we got. I got a Gates water pump. I believe I got that from Rock Auto. It came with the studs, which you have to install, but it didn't come with these nuts, so I'm reusing that from the previous water pump. Standard paper gasket here. I'm going with Permatex for the gasket maker. I haven't used this particular one yet. This is my first time using the water pump specific one. This one says it has superior resistance to water glycol, which is antifreeze or coolant, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be using thread lock as well. Even though the factory service manual doesn't mention it, I figure a little bit wouldn't hurt. As you guys probably already know, when you apply the gasket maker and you button everything up, you want to finger tighten everything, let that sit for an hour, let that bond properly, and then you torque it to spec. That's pretty much, to my knowledge, what every gasket maker says on the box, so I'm going to be doing that. Here's the water pump snugged up. I still got to give it an hour for it to set before I can fully tighten it down. I couldn't find any torque spec for these bolts in the service manual. Online I got two different answers. The first being use the good and tight method. The second from these ranging from 3 to 7 pounds, and the larger ones from 8 to 12. I'm just going to get it snug. You don't want to over tighten this because you'll break it off, and you do not want to deal with getting a bolt out of this timing cover. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Got this set up for the new radiator. Probably have that in a video or two. Look out for it, guys. Thanks for watching. Here's a preview of what's coming up in the next few videos. That's right, boys. We're Team Mishi now. Shout out to Mishimoto for the sponsor. Can't wait to get this in the Z. Look forward to it, guys. Thanks.